I'll pay for it. Any restaurant you choose.
Is there more to fast food than just a colonel, a king, and a clown? Let's take a trip and look at 10 of China's most popular fast food restaurants.
I don't want one of them. I want all of them.
Real Kung Fu.
Kung Fu Kenny, chef.
Arguably the most popular martial arts figure of all time, Bruce Lee was a true champion in his own right. He trained in multiple disciplines throughout his entire life before landing a career on the big screen in Hollywood. If you're asking yourself what Bruce Lee has to do with fast food, allow us to elaborate. In China, a chain by the name of Real Kung Fu invokes the classic iconography of Bruce Lee in their logo and storefront. The food served at this establishment includes noodles, rice bowls, soups, and other popular dishes. It's hard to say what makes this institution so popular in China, but we're guessing it has something to do with the likeness of the Kung Fu master.
Kung Fu posters everywhere, see?
Well, it turned out that someone else had this very thought. That person was Shannon Lee, daughter of the late movie star. It turns out that she found it downright disrespectful to use her father's likeness in this manner and sued the parent company. China's government later stated that it was fair use of the likeness and Shannon was left out in the cold. Whether fair or not, it hasn't stopped Real Kung Fu from remaining one of the most popular fast food destinations in China.
And now you know.
Yoshinoya.
I love Yoshinoya bowls.
In China, there are a fair number of chains that originated in the country. However, there are also a lot of foreign franchises waiting to capitalize on the Chinese market. Yoshinoya is one such brand. Originating in Tokyo, Japan in 1899, Yoshinoya has been serving traditional rice and beef bowls ever since. They serve almost 500,000 bowls a day, and much of that volume comes from Japan and other Pacific nations, including China.
It's great. People love it.
Really?
Japanese culinary tradition is at the heart of Yoshinoya as they seek to provide customers with a quality representation of their cuisine back home. They have more than 2,000 locations worldwide, but sadly have been slow to develop franchises in Western nations. If you have an absolute hankering for gyudon or just want to see what fast food looks like around the world, Yoshinoya is an excellent representative of what the rest of the globe has to offer.
Excellent!
Dico's.
It's my favorite fast food. I would eat it every day.
Dico's is one of China's most popular fast food restaurants, and this comes as somewhat of a surprise, seeing as how it's a Chinese chain that actually serves Western food. Their 2,600 locations across China sling fried chicken non-stop. It seems the Colonel's influence might have had something to do with Dico's rise to fame. The first store was opened in 1978 under a much different business model that sold traditional Chinese food. By 1988, KFC had invaded the country. Locations that sold the Colonel's one-of-a-kind chicken started to pop up on every corner.
They're everywhere.
As a result, Dico's owner pivoted their business model to keep up with the current trend. Ever since, Dico's has been serving fried chicken straight from the bucket, just like Colonel Sanders. Imitation can be the sincerest form of flattery, and Dico's success in mainland China is proof of this. If you want to see what all the fuss is about, a visit to China is in order, since Dico's is hard to come by outside its home country. That's a long trip just for some fried chicken. First time here and feeling that love at first bite? Well then, subscribe to our channel and never miss out.
I miss you, baby.
Ajisen Ramen.
That ramen was delicious.
Since 1968, Ajisen Ramen's claims of being a purveyor of fine ramen has been nothing short of gospel. This fledgling ramen shop opened up in Kyushu, Japan, and has since expanded to 700 branches around the world, with about 500 of those locations in China. The franchise can even be found in New York City, where it holds a strong reputation as a fast-serve yet quality ramen joint. Are you in the mood for tender pork ribs that have been slowly cooked to perfection? How about a simple bowl of tonkatsu?
I'm down.
Maybe you want to forego ramen entirely, although we're not sure why you would do that to yourself. Worry not, because Ajisen has noodle options for those watching their calories and sodium intake. Just know that Ajisen has you covered. They carry on the Japanese tradition of rigorous culinary standards, and when you order your first bowl, you'll be a true believer. Good ramen is easy to do, but great ramen requires nothing short of mastery.
Yes, master.
Yonghe King.
I'm the king of kings. Ha!
The first Yonghe King opened up in Shanghai in December of 1995 in an effort to offer an alternative to the Western-influenced fast food that seemed to be pouring into the country. Yonghe King takes a simple approach to the dining experience in that they mainly serve noodles. While a simple menu can either be a blessing or a curse, Yonghe King cemented themselves as an industry titan when they were acquired by the Jollibee Corporation, the fast food king of the Philippines. Suffice it to say that Yonghe King is among good company.
I'm comfortable.
This chain is slightly smaller than some on the rest of our list, but that hasn't stopped them from dreaming big. In the summer of 2021, Yonghe King released a statement saying that they wanted to double their presence in China to a respectable size of 1,000 stores nationwide. It turns out that Dico's wasn't the only restaurant taking notes of the Colonel's influence, because the original brand for Yonghe King looked eerily similar to the smiling face of Colonel Sanders. However, the brand underwent a logo change and has never looked back.
Go ahead, live your life. Don't look back.
Country-style cooking.
His cooking style is out of date.
This just might be one of the last chains you'd expect to see on this list. Country-style cooking is a small but immensely popular purveyor of traditional Chinese food in the country. Their menu consists of items that would be at home on any Chinese takeout board. Their goal is to provide quality yet simple Chinese dishes, claiming that while the American fantasy may be attractive to the younger generation, your stomach does not lie.
I told you only truth.
Strong words coming from a market that has to actively compete against the likes of the Golden Arches and KFC. One thing that people can agree on is that the food coming out of country-style cooking chains is a fair representation of Chinese cuisine. But with this simplistic cooking, the chain is also going up against smaller local brands and mom-and-pop stores. It remains to be seen if country-style cooking will make the mark that it desires, but if ever in China, you'd better just stop in and see what makes them so special.
Please, come in.
Jiangsu Niang Dumpling Company.
We call it a snack list.
That's right.
We'll make you another one.
In 1996, among the wave of fast food franchises that were going up in the country, Niang Dumpling Company, now simply known as DND, thought that instead of fighting the cultural wave, they would embrace it. The result is the amalgamation of Chinese-style traditional recipes with the Western concept of fast food. What does DND do better than the competition? Well, dumplings, of course. Ever since '96, DND has been serving dumplings to the people of China who are on the go, but still craving one of the most familiar dishes.
No matter what?
No matter what.
Not only limited to physical franchises, in 2001, the company expanded to provide quality frozen food to people around the world. They ship 30,000 tons of frozen dumplings every single year. This goes to show that the demand for their product has increased in the 20 or so years since the company's inception. It's not hard to see why this chain is one of the most popular franchises in China. I mean, a frozen foods brand was created based on their success. We've never seen frozen McDonald's French fries in the supermarket. Maybe it's time for some of the other players in the fast food game to up their ante.
You have to try harder.
Burger King.
Welcome to Burger King. May I take your order?
Despite China's best attempts, they can't stop the tide of Western influence that grips their country. It turns out that while imitators will work tirelessly to gain a fraction of the notoriety afforded by a Western brand, there's no replacing the real thing. Burger King cements itself as not only a force to be reckoned with in traditional Western markets, but also across the Pacific. Even though Burger King is relatively new to Chinese markets, it hasn't stopped the brand from gaining traction among China's middle class. They now have over 1,000 locations in mainland China, with plans to open many more stores in the coming years.
Business is booming.
This is partly responsible due to a massive social media presence by the marketing team at Burger King. Like the rest of the world, they know social media can be a double-edged sword. As a result, they choose to keep it very light and casual, posting jokes, amusing observations, and otherwise harmless posts to increase brand awareness. Even though Burger King is less than 20 years old in China, there are no plans to ease up on the pressure yet. We'll see what the king chooses to do in Eastern markets in the coming years as BK continues to increase the company's footprint all over the world and attract new customers.
What the buns? Was that Spider-Man?
McDonald's.
McDonald's restaurant. I never heard of it either, but they have over 2,000 locations in this state alone.
You probably could have guessed that McDonald's was going to make an appearance on our list at some point. It turns out that even though the chain caters mostly to Western palates, people in China can't get enough of the Big M. While many of the classic menu items are still there, McDonald's in China has also chosen to explore some unique options in foreign markets. Have you ever tried Coca-Cola wings? Well, apparently they're all the rage in China, as they and similarly strange things come and go from the menu without a trace. It's almost as if McDonald's is using China as a test ground for items that might not fly in other countries.
And it's working.
This is simply conjecture, and we're sure McDonald's is keeping its cards close to its chest. 29 years ago, the first McDonald's opened up in China, and ever since, they've slowly gained traction in the marketplace among tough competition. Their progress was slowed in this market due to a fast food scandal which alleged that McDonald's China was using contaminated meat in their products, with one reporter going as far to say he had video proof of this malpractice. Navigating past this rocky road, McDonald's continues to plug ahead in hopes that their menu will speak for itself. This certainly seems to be the case, especially of the younger generation who have grown up with the chain. It remains to be seen if McDonald's will ever claim the top spot in China's booming fast food market.
I'll do whatever it takes.
Give us a thumbs up and hit that like button while we serve up this bonus. Did you know that China and its neighbors have been the staging ground for some of the strangest fast food creations of all time? Don't believe us? What if we told you that McDonald's unveiled a Spam and Oreo burger? Or that in 2019, Domino's Taiwan released a bubble tea topped pizza? Sounds pretty strange. What about fried chicken skins in Singapore? You heard us right, fried chicken skins. There's no limit to the culinary amalgamations rolling out from the nations of the Pacific, nor for China's most popular fast food restaurant, KFC.
It tastes just like KFC. I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
What a trifecta. It turns out that even though China attempts to make their own mark on the fast food world, they can't hold a candle to the franchises coming out of the West. KFC rightfully claims the top spot as China's most popular fast food restaurant, as a staggering amount of Chinese citizens prefer it over local chains. This was not just dumb luck, however. A book was published in 2008 by Warren Liu, which details the company's rise to fame among stiff competition. The author cites rigorous business standards with a proven track record of quality food and market research. It didn't take long for KFC China to become the most popular restaurant in the fast food industry as a result of this. They were one of the first fast food chains to enter the Chinese market.
We really are the best.
And in 1987, the first KFC opened up in Tiananmen Square. If you were to show a picture of the Colonel to the average Chinese citizen, they would undoubtedly be able to tell you who it was. And this is due in part to impeccable brand recognition. Other companies in China have tried to mimic the Colonel's image to little success, either being swatted by intellectual property laws or just missing the mark entirely. The factors that make KFC such a monolith in China are somewhat intangible, but fear of the unknown has never stopped the Colonel before, and we expect bigger and better things to come from KFC China in the future. We'll all just have to wait with bated breath to see what moves the chicken chain is going to make next.
You said your mom was bringing Kentucky Fried Chicken home for dinner. Now, is she or isn't she?
We've got more great videos. Just tap or click. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. And hey, leave us a comment.